Nice to see you, and welcome to Open Source Days 2024 in Denver, Colorado. It's great to see you in such a large number. We're breaking our past records for attendance at Open Source Days. Thank you for being here. We really are looking forward to the day with you. My name is David Morin. I'm the Executive Director of the Academy Software Foundation. And in the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a state of the foundation, trying not to run late as I did last year, and to keep on time, because we have a great program. We have lots to show. So first, the basics. The Academy Software Foundation is developed in partnership between the Academy of Motion Picture Art and Science and the Linux Foundation, with the goal to provide a neutral forum for open source software developers and people interested in open source. That's our mission, and we stick to it. The membership of the foundation, these are the companies that contribute the funds so that we can do what we do. 38 companies. We're immensely grateful to them and to the people in those companies who are on our governing board. They're the one who set the direction for the foundation. From the very beginning, we started it for some reasons, and over time, the mission is evolving, and the governing board is on top of things, looking at all of it and giving direction to staff, to me, to others on what we need to do to advance our cause of developing open source software. The Technical Advisory Council is the core, the mind and the heart of the foundation. This is where the top engineers that are working on each project gather every 2 weeks to figure out what to do with the code, with the projects, and move our code forward so that it brings value to the industry. This is the timeline of our foundation. You've seen it before if you've been in Open Source Days in the past. We celebrated our 5 years last year of existence. The foundation was created in August 2018. I'll talk more about that in the second part of my presentation. The 5 years point was a moment for us to look at what we had achieved, but also what we should do next, and I'll talk a bit about that. But first, we're here at Open Source Days 2024, and we have a great program for you. In fact, the program started already a week ago with virtual town halls. So some of you may have attended that already. The virtual town halls, they're quite important. Over the years, first they started because there was not enough time at SIGGRAPH to give the full overview of a project, and so we thought it was a good idea to make those meetings before and record them. But over time, they're becoming more and more structured, and projects have realized that this is the place to record both the update on what happened in the last year since SIGGRAPH, last year since the last Open Source Days, and also to put the roadmap together. So every project is increasing in the structure of it, and I highly encourage each one of you to go see these virtual town halls after SIGGRAPH on our YouTube channel, Academy Software Foundation. They'll be posted in a few days after SIGGRAPH. Our schedule for today is amazing. Our program committee did an incredible job. Thank you for the presenters that are here and ready to present throughout our day. I'm not going to go through it all. You've seen it. That's why you're here. So we're really looking forward to get that going. And tomorrow, there's the birds of a feather that are part of SIGGRAPH, they require a SIGGRAPH registration, and they will take place for our projects in this room here, so you can come back here to see those birds of a feather. I want to thank our sponsors for Open Source Days. So Alma Linux, Autodesk, Foundry, and the collaboration between HP and NVIDIA. Alma Linux did the t-shirts, Autodesk, the lanyards, and the AM/PM break sponsorship. The Foundry did the Wi-Fi, and HP and NVIDIA are sponsoring our Beers of a Feather tonight. So thank you for them to help us having a great Open Source Days. I want to thank everyone who participated in putting up Open Source Days, from the staff at the Academy Software Foundation to also the members of the program committee that put all this, made the call for proposal, and the judge of the presentation we have and you're going to see today. Thank you. I want to go through, yes, applause. Yes, that's good. We are a community-based organization, and we couldn't do anything without the people we work with all the time, and that includes you in the audience, so thank you. So news, I'm going to go to a few newsworthy items, not all of them, but first we have a new member. Calligra, new general member. Thank you, Calligra, for joining the foundation. Toby Akins from Calligra is going to be here sometime today, and if you see him with a badge, you can ask him more about what they're doing. We're glad to have them in. In the news for our projects, so OpenFX has just released version 1.5 of its software. And it's a milestone because it is the first software release they do since they joined the foundation a little more than a year ago, and it's a first time in a while. So it's a great thing to see that a project like OpenFX has now released a new important version moving forward, and you can look at their virtual town hall to find out more. MaterialX, which is working very closely with the USD team to be the material transport mechanism. MaterialX version 1.39 released on July 5th, and OpenPBR, that is a sub-project of MaterialX, released on June 4th. OpenRV had a virtual town hall also that you can see, and have declared that they are done with their phase 2. So when Autodesk decided to open source RV and make OpenRV, they designed phases to first do the core of the software, and then handle the extension and the peripheral piece of software, which was phase 2. These are now complete, and now they're talking about where they're going to go next, so you can check their virtual town hall. The Open Review Initiative is releasing here at Open Source Days later a review plugin API that was developed by Sony Picture Imageworks. There is a bird of a feather on that tomorrow, Monday, July 29th at 10 a.m. here at the Hyatt. You can come back to learn more about Review Plugin API. DeepL has a number of new assets that have joined the repository. The AWS Airship, there's an Open PBR shader playground coming up, and more. There's going to be more details about DeepL asset in the coming keynote. OpenColor.io is running a lot of things in parallel. One of them is the Color Interrupt Forum, which aims to bring all the color scientists from all creeds and all projects together to discuss how to coordinate, particularly with the recent release of ACES 2.0, which is very important for our industry. Their forum is quite important, and they've also published their Now, Next, Later roadmap. I highly encourage you to go see it on the virtual town hall that they recorded. And then OpenVDV released the song for a change. And I don't know how much of you have seen it, but we're going to play it now just for your entertainment.
If you're a volume hippie and you love your VDBs, listen to this song and you reach divinity. Be the victor you can win if you proclaim with glee. VDB will set you free.
If you're a volume hippie and you love your VDBs, listen to this song and you'll reach divinity. Be the victor you can win if you proclaim with glee. VDB will set you free. Drop a VDB node and a VDB activate. Fill it up with values, you have taken your first step to make your VDBs become one volume again. Run VDB combine or maybe the VDB merge. VDB from polygons to build your SDFs. VDB reshape will plug any hole you have left. VDB rebuild to fix the collision mistakes. And VDB convert to make the polygons again. If you're a volume hippie and you love your VDBs, listen to this song and you'll reach divinity. Be the victor you can win if you proclaim with glee. VDB will set you free. If you think VDB is pointless, you must try this node. VDB convert points will unlock a brave new world. VDB points group selects and points delete removes. If you know VDBX, you can run all the code. If you are into fracturing, we have you covered too. For the VDB fracture will allow you to cut through. VDB disappears to scatter all your fracture points. The VDB workflow's here to never disappoint. If you're a volume hippie and you love your VDBs, listen to this song and you'll reach divinity. Be the victor you can win if you proclaim with glee.
It goes on for a few more minutes. You're welcome to go see the rest of it on YouTube. Search for VDB Hippie, yes, and that's how you can get some documentation done now. So maybe this is a way to do it in the future. So, continuing, and more back to the basic, we have two new working groups at the foundation, a Zero Trust Security Working Group led by Movie Lab with participation from AWS, Google, Foundry, Autodesk, Adobe to consolidate and share best practice for implementing Zero Trust solutions in media and entertainment. So if you're interested in that, join the working group. We also have a Language Interop working group led by Tyler Furby from the Wabi Foundation. The goal of the group is to provide interoperability between various programming languages, Python, Rust, Swift, C, and C++. If that tickles your fancy, please join the working group that are just being formed. I want to put a word about our diversity and inclusion working group that is doing consistently amazing work across the board. One of the activities that they do, as you've heard in past years, is the Summer Learning Program to prepare individuals from underrepresented communities for technical careers in film and media and entertainment. What you see there, the list, is what the graduate of the Summer Learning Program of past years came to do after they went to the program. So there's a high level of success in the people who come in the program and don't know much about visual effects or animation on our field or even development, and how they get out of it and they get positions, internships in academia, in studios. It's a great program that the D&I working group is doing. As well, other things that the Diversity and Inclusion group has done is to raise awareness about accessibility and building accessible tools. So in particular, the achievements run across designing wiki, the design for accessibility and readability, and publishing 2 schema proposals to extend OpenUSD in support of accessibility. So if you want to get involved with that, get to accessibility channel on the Slack channel of the Academy Software Foundation. Great work at the Diversity and Inclusion group. We have brothers in the open source world. USD certainly is one of them. There's a lot of activity around USD at SIGGRAPH, and our USD working group is the place where the community gathers to discuss topics from USD in games and USD in various parts of the pipelines. This is a short list of what's happening in USD that you can go and see in various places. There is an interesting fireside chat that will happen tomorrow. You may have seen it on the SIGGRAPH schedule. It is the meeting with Jensen Huang and Mark Zuckerberg. And the reason why it relates to us is that Meta, as you know, has committed to openly accessible AI. And Mark Zuckerberg wrote an open letter about why open source is good for developers, good for their company, and good for the world. So we like these kind of letters, and we encourage you to go read it and potentially to go see the keynote tomorrow. It should be interesting. So this brings us to a few things I want to say here as we go, and a lot of our presentation in the past have been about the procedural aspect of running our foundation and our projects, but there's something that I want to put up here. Open source is a better path to technology development. It's an underlying message and thought that we've had, but we never put it forward this way before, and I think it's time. It's time to do that because we've created the foundation a number of years ago for reasons at the time that were very specific, and we've done a lot to implement all that we said we would do, but we came to realize along the way with the success of many of our projects that this is really true. Open source is a better path to do a lot of technology development. It is, and particularly when foundational technologies, not specific to profits, need to be shared between different companies. And so that we have seen in all of our projects, when you have foundational technologies that everyone uses, that are developed in multiple places with multiple different ways and instances, as an industry, we are losing resources. We are spending resources on things that we shouldn't. Plus, every one of these instances have only a limited number of engineers. Why not put all these resources together? Why not open source parts of the technology stack? This is a good thing. We've seen it done, and it worked. And also with commercial products in certain cases, like OpenRV, and it works. So taking these technologies and open sourcing them is a good thing. Community-driven open innovation can move faster and yield better products. And so that's the tip of open source. Once you cover the foundational parts, there are parts where you can go, like a project like Blender, for instance, where you can develop and innovate faster in an open source environment. Now, I want to bring that back to what I mentioned at the beginning. Last year was our 5th year of existence at the foundation, and we did this process for a big part of the year, looking at what we should do next. There was these 5 buckets that we considered. Should we do new technology? Should we start project from scratch? Should we do some branches in other countries? Should we develop standards? Should we reach out to the other non-film parts of the media industry? And we had engineering contribution there, and we kept coming back to engineering contribution for a variety of reasons. And that became the conclusion of our 5-year soul searching, if you want, was that engineering contribution is really what we need to focus on moving forward, and which is not a far stretch from our original mission, which was to increase the quality and quantity of open source contribution by establishing a governance model, legal framework, and community infrastructure. We've done that. And 5 years later, it's been quite successful for the project who joined us. The question was, what do we do next? And so we need to come to the next phase of engineering contribution, bringing engineering contribution to open source project and to the open source community that we have. So we have 14 projects now. They are structured under the TAC on the continuous integration platform. And the board and the outreach committee are there to help the engineers at the TAC and in the TSCs that run the projects to move forward. We have some data that tells us a story, coming from the Linux Foundation LF Insight system. So for instance, here, the pull requests that were opened by year over the last 10 years, so that's before the foundation was created, for all of our 14 projects. So what do we see on this data is that clearly when the foundation was created in 2018, there was a surge on pull requests open for our project that has been maintained since then. So in a way, our existence, all the process that we put in place to support the open source community worked. That's what the story of that chart. The story of this chart, which are the open issues each year, show us how over time, the issues for the combination of our projects have increased and continue to increase over time. And that is a chart that tells us we do have to bring more engineering contribution to our foundation, to our project, and really be focused on that as we move forward, because our core group of engineers that read that on the TAC and the TSC chiefs and chieftain that are running every one of the projects and their TSC members, we never have enough engineers to do everything we do. And but we did not have a clear sense of exactly what that was, the need for every project. And so what we do at the foundation is all these things to be able to help our projects and to help our community. The events, the project marketing, the project infrastructure, the funding, the training and education, the legal assistance, the facilitation towards standards, the open source evangelism. We do all of that. But in order to understand better what our project needed and where they are in their comfort level with all they have to do, we need to do more, and so we and we didn't have that data, so we had to invent a process to go get that data. And this is the process was called the ASWF Project Contribution Matrix, and it was created by Larry Gritz, who's going to talk about that this afternoon at 2:25. This process that we've had and we still have internally about gathering information about our projects, which one of our member companies use our projects, what our projects need in terms of strategic development and closer to the ground tactical development. This is important data that we're now building for ourselves, getting for ourselves in order to inform what we're going to do with our engineering contributions. Practically, what we're doing, for sure, about engineering contribution is Dev Days. So Dev Days, Dev Days, Dev Days, talk about Dev Days. The Dev Days is a conference or a program that we started last year. We kind of bootstrapped. It's going to take place on September 26 and 27, 2024. The registration is now open. You go at the link that is over here, Dev Days 2024. It's a 48-hour open source global event. If you're interested in software development for motion picture, animation, and entertainment, you want to get involved in development of any of our projects, and you don't know where to start, come to Dev Days. Register for Dev Days. Join us. The website has all the information you need in terms of preparing yourself so that you can take an issue or a request and develop in one of our projects. The projects are there to help you, to help your colleague. If you have younger, more junior people in your companies who are interested in open source, tell them about Dev Days, have them go look into the website and see if they can participate. This is really important. devdays.aswf.io. That's the link. Please join Dev Days, promote Dev Days, come to Dev Days. This is what we're doing for engineering contribution and moving forward. And this is going to be a theme that you're going to hear from us beyond Dev Days as we develop our strategy toward bringing engineering contribution to our industry. Dev Days. Did you get it? Dev Days. And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce someone who has played an important role in my life. It is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, the CTO of Animal Logic, who is also treasurer and board member of the Academy Software Foundation. He's contributed more than most to our foundation, and he's been a sounding board to me for a lot of questions and issues that we had as we were building this from the beginning, none of us being quite sure about what we needed to do exactly, but we developed together with our next speakers and others in the foundation, a team that would consider what to do. And so in his next presentation, to talk to us about the value of serial volunteerism, please welcome Darren Grant.